This seriously might be the juiciest chicken I've ever made, and I'm going to show you how I made it. One thing that I highly recommend that you do that I did not actually do in this video, I want to let you know now that I highly recommend it. I didn't do it because I don't really have a whole lot of space in my refrigerator. We live with my in-laws, and I'm gonna be honest, me and my husband using a mini fridge right now, so it just wasn't possible for us to do this the night before. But what you want to do is the night before, you want to pat down your chicken dry like you see me doing right here, and then you want to salt it very generously and then leave it in the refrigerator overnight so that salt can penetrate through the skin and get into the meat. The next morning, you're going to pat it dry again because all that salt is going to bring the moisture to the surface. But since you did it overnight, the salt has penetrated, and so it's not going to make the flavor leave. If you do not have the space to do it and you just want to just get this chicken done, I would just make sure that you season very generously. I made the mistake of using unsalted butter, and then I did not salt the butter as heavily as I probably should have. Like I said, it was still a 10 out of 10, and I don't want this to stop you from making it. Like, it was still very, very delicious, but I just know that doing that extra step would have just taken it to the next level. Mentioned patting the meat dry after you get it out of the refrigerator, after you've left it in there overnight. You want to make sure you do that because that's what's going to give you that crispy, like, delicious looking skin. If you leave the moisture on there, then it's not going to be able to get as crispy as you'd like. We're going through all that work of putting this gochujang sauce on there and giving it all that color. We want to make sure that color turns beautiful and toasty and delicious. Decided to use yellow potatoes for this. Honestly, I think you could probably use any potatoes that you want. Russet is probably the cheapest option, but I just like how buttery these potatoes end up being after you cook them. My go-to for mashed potatoes as well, but at the end of the day, a potato is a potato, and I don't really mind as long as I get some. Another part that I want to highlight, you want to make sure that you're seasoning your potatoes very generously because potatoes are known to be bland. They can take a lot of salt, and you want to make sure that you're giving them the seasonings that they need. Or at the end, you're going to taste your potatoes and realize, like, dang, these don't taste like anything. As you can see, I was kind of struggling with this. I didn't realize that I had used almost all of it for the chicken, so I was like kind of struggling to get the rest of it out. These were, like, honestly the highlight of the whole meal. I'm not even gonna lie. The chicken was very, very good, but these potatoes were so good. Like, I can't even express to you how good these potatoes are. Like, I would literally go in the kitchen right now and make this whole meal again just so I can get a taste of these potatoes. Really isn't entirely necessary. I just had extra green onions that I had left over for whenever I made the gochujang pot roast that I made a couple weeks ago. Highly recommend you look that up on my page if you are interested in that. It was very, very, very good. But anyways, it's not 100% necessary. I just had them left over, and so I decided to stuff them inside of the chicken. You can use regular onion. You can just use the garlic. You can, just do what you feel like is best. Whatever you got left over at your house, stuff it in the chicken. All it'll do is add like a little bit more flavor in the overall end result. But if you don't have nothing laying around, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. Don't be scared to get your hands dirty and get up underneath that skin and make sure you can spread that flavor around on the inside. Like, we want this to be juicy, flavorful, and delicious. So don't be scared. I don't really like touching on chicken. That's why you see I got this glove on. And so I highly recommend that if you got a chicken aversion, because I tell you what, I don't know if I would be able to put my hand up in there like with my bare hand. But yeah, this is what's gonna make it like flavorful and delicious, besides what I said about like adding the salt the night before. I'm sorry about this terrible angle. Sometimes when I'm recording, I completely forget that I'm recording, because I'm gonna be honest, y'all, the part about this whole experience of like recording for YouTube that I enjoy is the cooking part. Like, the cooking part is why I do this. I thoroughly enjoy cooking. It's like a passion for me. And so sometimes when I'm like in the throes of cooking, I just completely forget all about recording and all the different things. And so sometimes my stuff doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as it could. I'm working on it, but yeah, sorry about that, guys. Love the white wine addition, that like the flavor that it brought to this dish. It made it very, very good. I understand that some people don't, drink or whatever, and that's perfectly fine. I'm sure it would be just as good with chicken broth, so don't feel like you have to go out and buy it for this recipe. You could literally use chicken broth. You could use water. I mean, I probably wouldn't use water, but you could use water with like chicken bouillon or something like that, and I'm sure it'll be delicious. My original plan was I was going to make a honey gochujang sauce to like brush on it halfway through cooking. I obviously ran out of gochujang sauce, and so I wasn't able to do that. If you want to do that, that would be amazing. I'm sure it would be very delicious. Since I didn't have that, I did soy sauce, honey, and all the different things that you see listed, and it was very good. I feel like it added some flavor and it added a little bit more seasoning to the chicken, but this is not necessary also. Like, you do not have to do this. This is just me being extra. But if you want to, bring it up a notch, you can do this. I ended up covering it for 45 minutes and then putting it in uncovered for like 25. And then when I went to check it, it had good color on it. And so I didn't really want it to get any darker than that. So then I put foil on again. But I think it would probably be good to probably do like an hour of it covered and then like 30 minutes not covered or something like that, instead of like covering it, uncovering it, covering it, uncovering it. It'll just make it all easier. I'm of course gonna have an easy to follow like directions and things in the description. I always put the recipes in my videos in the description, so it's gonna be a lot easier and less chaotic than just trying to watch this video 100 times to figure out what I did, especially since a lot of the time I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. That's just the type of cooker I am. I figure things out as I go. I am a very intuitive cook, and so I'm gonna like write it all down for you and just have it in the description box. I'm not gonna make you do all the figuring out. Like, then what would be the point of me even making this video, right? I ended up checking the temperature just to see where we were at. At this point, we were probably an hour and 10 minutes in, so I was just trying to gauge like what the vibes were, and I ended up, I think, putting it back in there for about 30 minutes. A meat thermometer is very important whenever you're cooking chicken, especially because it's hard to guess when it's going to be done, because you can easily overcook it or easily undercook it. Undercooking it will likely give you salmonella, and overcooking it will make your chicken dry. And so I highly recommend, if you do not have one, to get you a digital thermometer. I literally use it for everything, so I'll link one in the description box from Amazon, but I mean, they have them at Walmart or, you know, I'm sure any local grocery store. But I highly recommend, because that's what's going to give you that juicy, flavorful chicken and not dry, overcooked chicken or salmonella. And just like that, we have delicious roasted chicken and potatoes. I paired it with Asian style green beans, which I also have a video if you're interested. Thank you for watching.